Yeah, very good morning to all the panelists and the host.
Good morning.
Dr.
Morning, sir.
B.M.
Morning.
Mishra,
Good morning
District
to you.
South.
Very good morning.
How do
So
you, sir?
I hope I am audible.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
you are. You are.
Yeah, you are clear and
Good
loud.
morning, Mr. Mishra.
Yeah. So may I request the host to start the webinar with
Sure,
his
sir. Sure.
initiating remark, and then we'll proceed.
Yeah. So first of all, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of District Response. My name is Rishabh, and I will be your host today. Today we have Dr. B.M. Mishra, District Magistrate of South Delhi. Dr. Mishra is an IAS officer of 2008 cadre and hailing from the district state of Uttar Pradesh, currently posted in South Delhi. He is well known a figure for his exceptional and selfless work in and across Delhi for near a decade. So on the panel today, we have Mr. G.V. Panda, former advisor, Planning Commission and Special Rapporteur, National Human Rights Commission. And we have Mr. Mushan Mohan. He's an industry veteran and worked as a principal consultant, National E-Governance Division, Ministry of Electronics and IT. And on behalf of Scotch Group, we have Mr. Deepak Dalal, Chief Management Officer of Scotch Group. So without further much ado, I will welcome everyone again, and I would request Dr. Mishra sir to take the lead now. So over to you, Dr. Mishra.
So a very good morning and thank you for introduction. Actually, South Delhi district that comprises of around after the bifurcation of the district in south and southeast in somewhere around 2012. This district is of if present population is to be considered projected population, it will be of around 17 lakh population and in three subdivision: Hauska, Saket, and Mehrauli. Uh, as of now, today we have around 170 patients approximately. Two, three more has come just now, and maximum number of patients which we have found in the one category is that of the health workers, means those workers who are working in various hospitals of South Delhi like Max, AIMS, Sabdajang, in other one also in the Sucheta Kriplani, RML Hospital, Bratra Hospital, who are otherwise resident of the South District. We did understand these issue in the beginning. We tried our level best to interact with all of them. Also, certain preventive actions were started right in the March itself. Let me go through the small presentation, and then after that we'll further discuss in length whatever the issues which can be arisen and the questions if you pose any. So our motto remains the same: the surveillance and social distancing. We know all the that is the key, and the effort is that of the doctors, government bodies, police, NGO, and volunteers. We valued the importance of awareness through IEC and media, and in fact, we continuously interacted with the media group, the RWAs. We made the WhatsApp group of the market traders associations, the all merchandise of the districts in one or other subdivision-wise group, then district-wise groups, and we use every platform of communication, not only through electronic media, but to the print media, to pamphlets, posters, even the munadis and the announcements. All these methods were adopted to communicate well ahead in time to the public, to tell them that this type of disease is coming up in India also, and it started somewhere before Holi in the March itself. And we printed almost 1 lakh pamphlets, lots of banners, posters. We spread it across the South Delhi district. We did Munadi particularly targeting the audience who otherwise cannot read the pamphlets and posters. So all these we understood that there is only communication is the key. People should know what sort of disease is that and how can it be avoided, how can it be prevented. So this is what I'm trying to communicate in the next slide, that we used extensively the WhatsApp groups. We use the digital applications in survey and other things. I'll come one by one to each of them. Like if you see, these are the various groups. Like we have the WhatsApp groups. I've tried to give the snapshots. Uh, we made a command chain under disaster management, district disaster management authority, and under various legs, the roles were very clearly assigned to each of them, each of the officers, the responsible officers. Their role were documented already, and everybody were given written instructions what they have to do, as well as the communication plan was has been revised and updated every now and then to make sure that no confusion occurs at any level. The major challenge which occurred after the lockdown, when we started the lockdown, is how to maintain the essential services and how to keep the people away from any type of hunger and related issues. So we divided our market into 70 clusters. The whole district was divided into 70 clusters, and each cluster was assigned uh, a team of officers who would look after the work of ensuring that essential supplies are maintained, the essential supply shops are open, their wholesale market distributors, as well as their passes and their uh, supplies all remain intact. So these all were planned well in advance. Uh, then came the how to give the food to them, the people who were locked down and the extended laborers who were daily wagers, and they were, if they do not earn day every day, then they will not be able to feed them or their family. So with the help of all the MLAs and the councillors and the social groups and other people, with our field level staff, we created a database of the people, and we tried to reach to them in a very decentralized manner. Like, social distancing is key in containing this disease. So what we did not limit ourselves to only the primary schools or the other places where group of 500 to 1000 or 2000 people may come, and then they may then maintaining the social distancing over there remains a illusion. So we try to reach to the community itself, and more than 400 today, if on date I need to say, then 463 number of places we are serving around 1,20,000 people, uh, both time dinner and lunch, and we are doing it in a very decentralized manner. So social distancing is being maintained properly with increasing number. Like, we started with around 10,000 a day, and in 3 days we scaled it up to 50,000, and then in coming week we scaled it up to 1 lakh, and then the demand is stabilized. We had the hunger call center also. We used to get lot many calls in the beginning, but later on subsequently we did not uh, get many calls, and almost the things have got saturated, and around the data is coming up around 1,20,000. In fact, with the help of various NGOs, food suppliers, and other people, we are able to also get the dry rations, and then one-to-one contact from the donor to the donee. All these rations are being supplied to the people directly by facilitating from our end. So that is also coming up in large number. But then what remains the most important is the social distancing, and that is being maintained very stringently. Uh, then came the problem of, if the disease has been located in one of the communities, then how to contain that disease, how to prevent that spread. So the government of India guidelines were around 10 number of patients or 2 deaths if occur in place, then that need to be contained. We discussed it with the government of Delhi, and in fact we impressed upon them that because of the larger density of population, as well as the need to contain smaller areas, not the larger areas, we need to reduce this criteria. And then government of Delhi health department agreed to us, and then the criteria came for micro containment also, so that if even 3 number of patients are positive in a particular locality, then we need to contain that locality. But then came the problem of how to go for surveying those localities, and then identifying that analyzing that data, who all requires testing and who all requires hospitalization, because then going by pen paper method to almost 1,000 household, if suppose the size of the containment area is 1,000 household, then 1,000 papers created with all papers having one or four pages, and then analyzing data by sitting in the office and then coming out who all requires testing, who all requires hospitalization will take time. And also the exposure to disease is too much to our workers as well. So we devised a containment survey application. This is an app-based service in which this is available both in the Android as well as the iPhone way. And our surveyor that takes the app downloaded in his mobile phone, visits door to door and takes the data. The data is captured in two categories. One category is related to the contact, another category is related to the disease. Like whether you have visited Marcus, whether you have visited foreign, or you have been in contact with one COVID positive person, or you are a health worker working in a COVID care center. And the disease like fever, cough, or severeness of the symptoms like shortness of breath and other thing. And with the click of mouse on the desktop, we can classify the whole data as who all are symptomatic, and amongst those symptomatic, who all are having severe symptoms like shortness of breath. And immediately on real-time basis, like when the teams are in the field, we are able to generate this data that who all require immediately to be mobilized to hospital, and we are ready to, we can send ambulances for them. Also, ready data remains with us that how many of people in that containment area are symptomatic and need to be administered test. And to our happiness, we have been able to find out more number of cases in those areas after the containment. If we suppose we went for containment on with the 3 number of persons positive, and when we did the survey and then based upon survey data we analysis, we found that these many persons, around 20 to 30% were symptomatic, and when we administered test, 6 or 7% of those samples were found positive. So that helped us in containing the disease, because we could immediately mobilize them outside the containment area and also stabilize the whole area. So this survey had been one very wonderful tool in our hand, and we then also state authorities also recognize this survey tool, and it has now been implemented in whole of Delhi, means all 11 districts. We did this containment for till date for 14 localities in South Delhi, and to our happiness and to the happiness of you all, we have been successfully able to contain the disease spread in these containment areas in around 12 of them. To have some increased number, still increasing number of cases, those are one in Hausrani and other is in neighborhood. Because of the defined population, though we have contained a very small area, but with lots of persuasion, lots of enforcement in the containment area, also the population what one or other time goes to mingle with each other, and then the disease is being spread. But then immediately we shift them, and we believe that we will be able to control the disease in that containment area as well. These are the certain questionnaires of those containment survey app, all the 8 questions. And then this is the dashboard we get here. And like travel history and flu symptoms are the 2 categories. Selections can be made crisscross, and accordingly we can generate MIS, which is downloadable in Excel format, and then accordingly we take the decisions. So this is the dashboard of the Corona survey in containment area. Then the issue was that there were certain people whom we had to give the order of home quarantine. Means there are no need, because they were low risk contacts. Like one pizza delivery boy was found positive, and we had to put there was around 72 families where he delivered, and we had to put all of them under home quarantine. Our experience of home quarantine order were very different. Then people were not obeying it. RWAs used to complain, public used to complain. Then how to enforce this home quarantine, because we can't keep at every door one guard, because we are already short of the manpower to control the persons. Then what we devised another home quarantine surveillance app. So this app, home quarantine app, this was This was devised with the help of one Bangalore-based company, free of cost, who volunteered to do that, in which this is GPS-based device. On the mobile phone of the person who is ordered home quarantine, or the family of the persons, the number of persons in a household who are ordered for home quarantine, on their mobile phone, this is downloaded with their consent. Of course, we got the approval of the MHA as well. MHA said that with their consent, you can download directly, or if they are not consenting, then you need to take the approval of the Home Secretary of the state, and then you go ahead for their this particular downloading of this particular app in their phone. Then the geo fencing is for 50 to 100 meter. Earlier it was 100 meter, now we have reduced to 50 meter. And because more number of diseases are coming up in the lower middle economic society, socioeconomic people, so their house size is smaller. So we have reduced this geofencing boundary to 50 meter, and with beyond this 50 meter, if the person goes out, then he gets an alert. Like we get this information at our desktop, and he gets an alert on his mobile phone that you have crossed the border. You need to immediately reach back to your home, and we get this alert on our phone, our desktop, that this person is breaching the home quarantine. We immediately can call him. We also issue a written warning to them, and if the person is violating it and the order more often, then we also go for lodging prosecution against them. But this has surely helped us, because if you see here, the person has gone at 9:44 p.m. He was inside, and 9:44 p.m. because seconds is not mentioned here. It is minute which is mentioned here. So we have felt that around 10 seconds earlier he was, when he crossed the line, then immediately he went inside. Means like 9:52 p.m. he was outside, and 9:53 p.m. he came inside, seeing the notifications that he has been notified that you have reached the limit of home quarantine geofencing, and now you need to immediately rush back to your home to avoid any action against you. So this app is useful for us. This is also available both in Android as well as the iPhone format. So this is useful for us in enforcing the home quarantine order, and people are at least aware that they are being watched even after the order. Even on this map also we can see all visited locations where he has visited, and accordingly, suppose if the person is turns out to be a positive person, and we need to then go for a bigger survey of the area where he has while breach of the home quarantine, where all he has visited and whom we need to further put on strict vigil or surveillance, then this whole map will comes also handy to us. So we not only this, also tried to decongest our mandis. Like if you see here, one Mehrauli mandi, which was otherwise very congested place, thousands of people in a very small congested places they were visiting. So temporarily we shifted it to DTC bus terminal, and there we made these ground markings, and the people used to then this decongesting is done properly, and social distancing is being maintained while not affecting adversely the essential supply. So all these things, this is Mehrauli Mandi, then we did it for Tigri Mandi, we did it for Kanpur, then we did it for Chhatarpur area. So we did it, we decongested every mandi of the area. We also ensured that wherever the shops are open, in front of the shops, we do these ground markings, and our market rate teams were there who used to enforce, as well as the police constables, beat constables who used to enforce that social distancing is being maintained. We also used to patrol. Our officers are also on street. We also try to appeal to the public through video messages, through SMSs, using Twitter, Facebook, and other social media, because South Delhi people are quite literate, and then with various mode of communication we try to reach to them. So largely that has surely helped us in containing the disease. As of now, we are around 160, 70 after even 1.5 months of total these, and proudly we can say that we have no death case in South Delhi. We also ensured that all the workers who are there in the field are provided with the gloves and masks. The workers who are working in the containment area or who are working in the quarantine centers, they are also provided with the PPE and other equipments. We not only this, we also went for the ICMR preventive this prophylactic guidelines, and we procured hydroxychloroquine from the market through government, and we also supplied it to our frontline workers so that they remain safe. We also in fact facilitated through various orders, through various communications to the people to download Arogya Setu app, which has been given by the government of India, and that app is very useful in determining your, because our quarantine survey containment survey app is for our official use of officials who are going for there. But Arogya Setu app is one app which can be used by ordinary citizen by downloading into their phone, and they can check their status, whether they are at the low risk, medium risk, or high risk, and then what to do. And simultaneously, the government agencies also get alert. And in fact, we in the district also have a desktop for that. So we have also, this is one state-of-the-art Corona rapid testing mobile clinic. We modified one CRPF van, and with the help of generous donation from Sri Mukul Rohatgi, the former Attorney General of India. And this van has facility of testing as well as quarantining and carrying some of the patients as an ambulance to the nearest health facility or COVID care center. So this is coming very handy in testing as well as transporting the patients and getting the rapid test results as well. So better thing what we did certain thing well in advance. Also, even during the containment, let me tell you, being my since I also belong to I'm a medical graduate, so at times we could forecast very well, and we could find that even on the one when one person was found positive and he had interacted with his family very very closely, so we could appreciate that this person might have sorely infected and spread the disease. So what we did it that we planned for containment area. We took out all the family members to our institutional quarantine, and to our happiness, we found that most of them were turned out to be positive in our institutional quarantine, and we could, since we already contained the area, so there were very few cases remaining in the containment area, and those areas are now turning to be orange and green very shortly. So we are not having any incidence of disease in those areas. So forecasting and then taking prompt action vis-a-vis disease, vis-a-vis infrastructure and logistic requirements with the essential supplies and other things, as well as procuring things through government resources as well as the donations well in advance, that has surely helped us. So these are type of certain donations were also made by the people in form of either face mask, face screen, or the kits, and those also by properly assessing our requirement and giving these people permits to prepare such kits as well as carry those passes and other things were given well in advance, and therefore we did not have any scarcity in the district. Right now I can say that I don't have any scarcity of either sanitizers, masks, or PPE, or even the medicines. These were the earlier pictures of the mandis, which have now been like this. If you see, these were the pictures of the mandi. This is, and this one is present picture taken by a drone camera. So properly decongested, and I'm happy to share that we have found certain vendors positive in this area. And because so nicely this testing had been done, their contacts we are keeping under surveillance. And even after 15 to 20 days have passed, none of them have been found positive. So this social distancing, even one of the vendor has been found positive in this particular mandi, but he has not been able to transmit the disease anywhere. because and he was so well advanced, well informed, well in advance, and he was taking almost every precaution, wearing mask, using hand sanitizer, and the social distancing was so properly maintained, and none of his contact has turned out to be positive. We tried to, then we were having for a normal time, we were having human resources less in number. For an emergency time, we had to gear up human manpower also. There were certain NGOs we also provided. There were certain some government departments, we also requisitioned from some government department, but we made sure that whosoever we have requisitioned or whosoever we have taken as a volunteer, we first screen them thoroughly with a medical team that they are not having any disease, not only COVID, but also not any other communicable disease, as well as we try to train them properly so that they remain well versed of the nuances of this COVID-19, and they end up not contracting and spreading the disease during the course of service they are providing. So that has helped. In fact, we have almost put in 1,500 civil defense volunteers, around 600-700 other NGO and other volunteers, and I can say with authority that only one person, one civil defense volunteer has now till date has been tested positive, who was working in the quarantine center. Not other person has been found positive. Uh, we knew that surveillance is the key. Surveillance requires a very methodical, meticulous, and very state-of-the-art facility where one can have a team sitting over there, getting the cases, and then tracing the contacts, tracing how did he contracted the disease and how could he spread the disease to the community, finding out each and every person, then going for home quarantine, institutional quarantine, or hospitalization. We then created a surveillance hub very early in the beginning itself. We asked the government to give us medical students who are the PG students who can then sit in these surveillance hubs, subdivision wise teams were made under the supervision of the senior medical officers of the district, this district surveillance officer and the team. They kept working day and night. They're still working like yesterday till 1 or 2 p.m. in the night, 2 a.m. in the night. I was closely monitoring what was the case and how has it contracted the disease, how much spread is there. So this surveillance hub is coming up very effective tool in to us. Our e-sub-registrar office has been converted into that surveillance hub with lots of seating facilities, with social distancing, as well as big screens have been placed for to show us the progress in the containment zone and the every case details, how many number of cases have come by now in the district, of which categories, and every case is being worked up. Then their case profile is being picked up, and then written orders from the surveillance hub is being issued for either institutional quarantine, home quarantine, or the details of the letters are being sent to the other districts or other states that these many persons might have contracted disease because they came in contact within incubation period from one of the positive case. You please take necessary assistance. So this surveillance hub is one more innovation from our side. This is state-of-the-art facility created in e-sub-registrar office, which is otherwise not working nowadays. We had good NGOs, Radha Swami Satsang Vyas to be named one, who is not only providing around 1 lakh packets of food daily, but also is maintaining our shelter home where around 500 persons who are stranded laborer or the patients who were and attendants who were otherwise roaming around the AIMS and other sub-regional hospitals, and they were at the risk of contracting disease as well as the risk of getting distressed because of non-availability of essential supplies to them. So we took them, put them here, we also put hired two DTC buses there, and these DTC buses, with maintaining social distancing, they take these patients at various regular intervals and bring them to the hospitals, AIMS as well as Safdarjung, where they take their clinical, like somebody is going for dialysis or somebody is going there for chemotherapy and other things. And then they are sent back to these Radhaswamy Satsang Vyas shelter, where we have also placed round the clock medical care facility, one doctor in rotating shifting duties, as well as paramedics are there who take proper care of them. We are maintaining health and hygiene over there. Separate toilet blocks are there, and also we are able to sanitize the whole area more often, so that they may not contract the disease and they may not end up getting into more trouble from the other than the disease they have already carrying. We have also got NCC cadets. We have also got other NGOs who have given us various supports. So yes, of course, the another issue was that how to provide passes to the public. Means like in during curfew, if people used to visit our offices, then that may also become one threat to spread the disease. So what we devised, and then Government of Delhi also came up with one very good application, and we the facility of e-pass was introduced. Before that, we devised that we put in use two WhatsApp numbers. People can communicate on that WhatsApp number, and through that notified WhatsApp number, we are sending the passes to their mobile number, which is valid. In fact, government order has also been passed that if any pass coming from those numbers, notified numbers, and that is being taken in the person's mobile in electronic form, that is a valid pass. In every containment area, no, since no services are allowed, no movement is allowed, no shops and other things remain open. So what we have done, we have taken put in some civil defense volunteers from our side, also taken community volunteers who are screened for the medical status, and then the neighborhood shops are notified to the people resident of the containment area, where with the call with the telephone call they can put their orders that these many things they require, and then that person delivers it to the gate of the containment area where we have put the naka. From there, inside services are being done with the help of our civil defense volunteers as well as the community volunteers, so that very restricted movements are there, and the containment area is readily shifting to orange or green. We are now in the process to open our two areas, decontain our two areas very shortly out of 14. And other than two, rest 10 are already in orange, and very shortly they will also come into green area. We surely we kept on communicating with the media people through media WhatsApp groups. We did lodge FIR against the persons who are spreading false rumors. We also communicated with our RWAs, gave authentic information to them through various medias, including the WhatsApp groups, so that we used to issue regular bulletins of the district that these many cases, these many instructions, these many guidelines, so that the people may not remain less informed and panic may not set in them into them. And then, so by all these means, we are trying to open as many channel of communication as many possible, just to spread the authentic information to the public, so that they may not get misled. Of course, we are in this whole process, we are also trying to gear up our public grievance handling. We have control room, officers are also accessible. We are also having communication with the state, these resident commissioners, and whenever, like hunger helpline and other things, wherever and whenever we are getting information, or if you see our DM South Delhi's Twitter account also, every day around 15 to 20 complaints we are addressing. People are lodging over there. We are addressing and also posting our feedbacks there, and people have also posting their satisfaction with our redressal. So we are trying to put the people's grievance by proactive measures as well as by responding to the grievances in a very swift manner. So all these channels of communications we have opened, and we are trying to help the people. Just to give an account, till 1st of May, we have fed around 70 lakh meals. More than 10,000 families without ration card have been given ration. There are more than 2,000 volunteers on field. 26 NGOs are there, and we take also proud in telling that we are the first district in the whole country who started the institutional quarantine, and our Terapanth Bhavan Chhatarpur has given service to more than 600 persons who traveled from abroad, reached to Delhi airport, and they have been, out of them, only 5 or 6 persons turned out to be positive. Rest all have been successfully quarantined and sent to the various parts of the country. Means by transit pass, I have issued transit pass to even Kanyakumari as well as to Jammu and Kashmir, to Assam as well as to Gujarat. So to all these states, we have issued the transit pass, and these people have been quarantined in our quarantine center at Terapan Bhavan Chhatarpur. This is country's first quarantine institutional quarantine center. Thank you. So that's all from my side. If
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Mishra. That was very impressive. And I'm sure that panelists would want to discuss this model further. So I would request first Mr. Deepak sir for the opening questions or comments if he has any.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Mishra. It was an impressive and informative presentation. I would like to know few things. My first question is, how many tests have been done in your zone as of now? Second, how many tests you have been doing daily? That because you have also mentioned you are using mobile testing van. So how many tests being conducted in every day? Third, the Arogya Setu app, you already mentioned that you are directing citizens to download Arogya Setu app. So how many downloads as of now in your zone of Arogya Setu? And are they really aware of this app? Are you doing any awareness activity also regarding this app amongst the citizen? Fourth, what is the status of your the other government benefits like ICDS, take home ration? You have already mentioned the 10,000 families, those who are not having ration card, they got the ration. So I just want to know the status of ICDS or take home ration in current situation. And also the last thing I would like to know regarding the essential supply, how you are ensuring that there is not any kind of malpractices during the food supply.
So thank you. We are doing rigorous testing. Testing is being done particularly for high-risk persons. Means, suppose if somebody has turned out to be positive, then whoever is high-risk contact, they are being tested, as well as the low-risk persons. It means they have either the single contact or very remote contact. They are being put under home quarantine and being observed for development of any symptom. To our happiness, all high-risk contacts we have tested, almost 50 to 60% have been found positive, and they were already put under institutional quarantine. To give an estimate of numbers, if you say, then more than 2,000 testing has been administered, and almost 170 odd number of positive results have come to us. So every day now, since last 1 week, we have increased the number of testing because with the certain containment area, and then, as I have already mentioned, with the containment survey app, we are able to pinpoint that who all are at risk or who all are symptomatic in the containment area. So there, I'm not included the data of the containment area in the earlier statistics what I've given. So in containment area, like in 14 containment areas, and on an average in one containment area, we are finding 15 to 20 persons to a maximum of 71 they were in Hojrani. So around these many numbers of people, we are finding that they are either symptomatic or having serious contact history, and they need to be tested. So we have introduced testing to all of them. So around you see 600 to 700 people we have tested from containment area as well, and we took ample precaution to shift all these people either very rapidly after getting the test to hospital.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes.
Hello.
Yeah. So, we were able to introduce testing, and also simultaneously, whenever required, we were shifting them. Then you asked me about the essential supplies and essential services. See, first of all, as I told, we divided our district into 70 clusters, 70 clusters, and for each cluster, we assigned a team of officials. These team of officials, they were there day and night. They made various WhatsApp groups, other mode of communication, and they interacted with the market as well as their. They ensured that these supplies from their wholesaler, distributor to the retailer, as well as the supply to the community people, they are not hampered. We surely got certain complaints of overcharging or some kind of misbranding or some misadventure on the part of the retailers, and we took the information chain credibility is tested, that we got immediate information about all of them, and then we immediately mobilized our team of officials who were there in the ground, and they could contain them. So not major complaints that could come to us. So I think by that way we were able to do all these. Yes, these when you are telling that how many Arogya Setu app has been downloaded, a rough estimate if I can give, more than 50,000 persons out of this population have downloaded. Day before yesterday, I opened it, this desktop personally monitored. Otherwise, my people there in the surveillance survey hub, they are monitoring it regularly. So today's data I don't suggest, but then more than 50,000 people have already downloaded this Arogya Setu app. I would rather request that these data we may have access to further more minute details. Like we are now having empirical details, means these many people are at milder risk, these many people. But suppose if I want to go into further details, that who many of them are at high risk and where, what are their addresses, other than finding them is a little bit cumbersome task over there on the desktop. So if that is facilitated more appropriately, so I think we will be a much ease to track them at the district level. Sorry if I would have missed any of your.
Thank you. Next.
So you have been doing an excellent job in the South District. I have personally being a resident of this place, so we have really not faced any inconvenience as such regarding necessary essential commodities or basic services and other things. However, now that we have been able to isolate or we are very clear about our containment zones, what are the future plans to improve upon the other basic services which may not be essential, but the basic services like maintenance and other things?
Thank you, sir. Means on this account, I would say that wherever and whenever possible, if somebody has approached to us that we are providing these essential maintenance and other services, we are issuing pass to them quickly. But one thing is worrisome to me still, we are getting more number of cases of health workers and their contacts. Still, we are not very comfortable with that. In fact, I have written to all the major hospitals, MS and Director AIMS also. I have raised this issue with the in the meetings of the Honorable LG and the Honorable Chief Minister, as well as in the Honorable Health Minister, Union Health Minister's video conference also I have raised this issue. And in fact, Government of Delhi has also ordered for auditing non-COVID care centers of these hospitals for maintaining the SOPs correctly and implementing them. But I'm worrisome. I'm worried for that because more and more number of health worker cases, and then because of them, the community spread is occurring in my district, and the numbers are increasing for last 3-4 days. Also, one issue which is more troublesome to me, which is again an impediment to all this. Why I'm telling all this? These are an impediment to early relaxation of the lockdown. Are giving more open space to the public. These are impediments. So I'm also getting the problem with these food handlers. Means there is no end to the demand of food. I also raised this issue that when we have provide dry ration to equal number of people, means if suppose in the state we have in the district we have fed. Let me give you the district data only. 1,20,000 we are feeding. So around 50 to 60,000 through either ration card or non-ration card holders, we have already provided dry rations. Then why the number at food hunger centers are not decreasing? So if that we are not going to control as a government or as a policy, then these people who are otherwise turning out to be positive, the food suppliers, the distributors, the boys, the volunteers, and other people, various political representatives as well as the NGOs, they are ending up spreading the disease, and this spread would be very dangerous. Means spreading in the affluent section who were having wherewithal to contain the disease and also follow our home quarantine orders or to withstand with us in the difficult time with all their mights is not possible with these people who are residing in the slums and ghettos. So somehow this need to be contained very, very urgently. And I'm emphasizing with everybody there in the government as well that if unless this is controlled, we are not at comfortable position to ease out any relaxation. Like today also some of the RWA groups, they asked me whether to allow the domestic servants, why we can ease them, we can relax them. Then I simply said to them that, see, I have largely been able to contain the disease, but I am not happy right at this moment with these particular group of people turning out to be positive, because they are the high risk vulnerable people, and if they turn out to be positive with this much of frequency in coming days, 15-20 days, I may have a very tough time.
I
So
agree. I agree. No, I fully agree with you on that particular count. That domestic workers who are traveling to their places, which are very, very congested, maybe the slums, and then come to the other residential places, I think they can act as the carriers. And many of them may be non-symptomatic carriers, and we may never be able to catch the whole thing. I agree on that particular thing. I think we need to have much more caution. But on the use of what you talked about, this food rations and the food which you are giving to almost 1.5 lakhs, now that the migrant workers have been in a way allowed to go back to their places, will that bring about a lower pressure on you to take care of these people, or it will still continue? Because I feel there is a lot of, the moment there is a free food, lot of people just come because something is being given, whether they are deserving or not deserving. So that is one thing which I've been observing at certain places.
I surely agree on that account, and in fact, I'm looking for a very early decision on this, particularly shifting of these migrant laborers who are otherwise at very high risk of contracting the disease, and they are also restless, sitting idle at home, even though they are being well fed. So, if they are allowed to home up, who all of them want to go to their native place, if they are allowed, they will be getting a new lease of life, a free life in their village. They may not contract the disease that much easily. So, but that is a government decision to be agreed between the two governments, two state governments. We are eagerly looking for that, and as early as we get that, we'll be happy to implement that order. So I'm solely looking for that, because that will ease out the pressure on the urban district, particularly my district, as well as put them at ease.
Okay. That's good.
Mr. GB Panda sir, if you have any questions. Mr. Panda sir, can you listen us?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible. You can go ahead
Okay.
with the question.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mishra. We feel safe being in South Delhi for combined reasons that you are able to each other in taking a comprehensive you have comprehensive.
So there is some problem with network. We are not able to hear you clearly, sir.
Yeah.
To a situation that we are today, unless without it could have been worse.
Sir,
Hello. Hello.
yeah, your network is not good, sir. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Panda,
Hello.
we can hear you. Can you hear us?
I think
Hello.
there is. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible. Okay. I think there is some network issues, Mr. Panda. And in the meantime, Mr. Bhushan Mohan or Mr. Deepak sir, do we have any questions or comments, further comments?
One question which is slightly academic in nature. When we are seeing the Delhi overall figures, we have crossed a figure of 3,000 or so with about 2,500 active cases. However, when I see only the South Delhi of the other districts, figures are really very manageable, like in which are, I think, which are excellent thing. But I really don't know where these 3,000 cases are coming from. Yes. Was I audible?
It was audible in pieces, sir, but I could understand the spirit of your question. So just to sum up, sir, like when we were in first digit, and then we traveled into second digit, and then 25, then 50, then 100, and then now 170. The doubling rate duration has decreased. And to, I would now say with all...
Hello.
Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, you are.
Yes, yes, you are audible.
So with all sense of responsibility, I must admit that from 100 to 150, we have reached in very early in last 4 days. 4 to 5 days, we have reached from 100 to 150. And then in last 2 days, we have reached to 170. And the major contributor to this are health workers and their close contacts. And then the second lot has now turned out to be these food distributors. I'm worried on that account, and therefore I'm heavily emphasizing upon that if SOPs are not implemented properly and the audits are not done there in these big hospitals, that whether they are, see why I'm saying so. Being a doctor, I understand that health workers are at the major risk because they are at the hem of affair. But then that statistics suggest so. None of these health workers were working in COVID care centers. Very few working in the COVID care centers are turning out to be positive. These health workers have been working in non-COVID care centers. So the thing is that the SOPs and the prevention is implemented in COVID care centers, but somewhere in non-COVID care centers, the safety and standards are not being followed meticulously. The people there are somehow either short in supplies, or if not short in supplies, then they are putting their life at risk. The health workers, they are putting their life at risk, not understanding that one of the patients which are otherwise labeled as non-COVID patients are also a carrier of disease. So my worry is that And these people are turning out to be positive more and more in number, and now the doubling rate of the cases are increasing very fast. So, and maximum of them are health workers. Like my 40% of the cases of my district are now turning out to be either
Hello.
workers or the persons who have visited the hospitals, these hospitals, and have turned out to be positive. So that is my worry.
Okay. I think
Hello.
Mr. GB Panda sir is here, right? Sir, can you hear us?
Hello. You can hear me now?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You are audible. You are audible.
Hello?
You are audible. You can ask your question.
Okay. Okay. I think I will be very precise in a couple of questions, because most of the issues has been addressed too, because the view as well as admission point of view has comprehensive coverage of the. To see the satellite slums, which has a porous opening and the people keep moving around, they may not come to the road. How to check this? Number two, that lots of household servants or they have been restricted not coming to the house.
I think the better way is we would ask Panda sir to send email.
पांडा साहब, आप
DM.
अपना क्वेश्चन लिख के
Can
कर
do
दीजिए
about
chat में. आपकी आवाज ठीक नहीं आ रही है.
We'll forward his question to DM so that he can get the answer of his question
Hello.
through email. Because Panda sir, आपका network चल नहीं रहा है.
There is some problem with the audio.
Yeah. You can write your question in the chat, sir. We'll ask that for you.
In the chat or you can send email.
However it is convenient, sir.
I think most of the queries have already been answered by DM, and we have already taken
Very much of his time.
minutes of scheduled half an hour.
Yeah. So he must be very busy now, and I guess we would answer the question later, and we can have that over mail or anything, right? As of now, I think all the points have been kept, and thank you, DM sir, for your services and for keeping your model in front of us and having the discussion with us. And so I wish you all the best for the future on behalf of Scotch Group and the panelists. And I would also like to thank the panel members, Dr. Bhushan Mohan, Mr. Bhushan Mohan sir, Deepak Dalal sir, and Mr. GB Panda sir for coming with us and having the discussion. Thank you, panel members, and thank you, DM sir.
Thank you, Dr. Mishra ji. Thank you. You are doing a great job.
Thank you, DM Saab. I think it was an excellent session. We really appreciate your comment.
Any concluding remarks, sir, you want to make?
If you have any comments, sir.
Just I need help from the public. They just fulfill their responsibility not to breach the lockdown, and I'm there committed to with my team on the job, and will surely win this battle. Will not let the corona win. We'll win. Thank you.
We agree, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.